Welcome to Channels TV, sponsored by Volo. Delighted to be here with Rudy today, and no surprises, there's a big clue behind us. We're at Rarewaves. So, welcome Rudy. Who are you, and what do you do at Rarewaves?
Well, I'm Rudy Osorio. I'm the commercial director at Rarewaves, and I focus on our direct-to-consumer channels. So that's our website, it's our social channels, and it's Trustpilot as well, actually. It's something I keep a close eye on.
So you've been at Rarewaves for about 3 years now.
That's correct.
What were you doing before Rarewaves? Where have you come from?
So a very long time ago, in the early 90s, I joined Tower Records, and then after that I joined HMV. And I worked for HMV for 29 years and thought I'd learned everything there was to know about entertainment retail. And then I came to Rarewaves 3 years ago and learned that I needed to learn a lot more about entertainment retail.
Rarewaves is a very special company.
Absolutely, eye-opening, yeah.
So we've known Rarewaves well. We've spoken to Brad and Josh before about their marketplace business, but today I wanted to concentrate on your website, because the goal for lots of people that start a marketplace business is obviously to build a robust business where they own the customer rather than the marketplace owning the customer. So go back to 3 years to when you joined Rarewaves. What were they doing with their website at that time?
Well, so Rarewaves has been going for 18 years, so 15 years after they'd gone, they were completely selling on marketplaces. That was the core focus. And then in around 2019, just at the end of that year, they launched their own website. When I joined, there wasn't a lot of focus on the website, but definitely for Brad and Rob and the senior team here, there was a real desire to make that a significant channel. So I was brought in to kind of help that. Part of that is about building the team. So I now have 5 people working for me, and we're even looking for more people now. Bringing talent in to help us kind of focus on that direct-to-consumer offer.
So talk to me about the state of the website when you arrived. How many transactions were happening? How much of your product was on the website? And also, I think, could you tell us a little bit, for those that don't know Rarewaves, about the data-driven side of the business?
Sure.
Because I imagine having the data from the marketplaces to squirt onto the website made it a lot easier to start with.
Yeah, so we are quite a unique business. We have 1.7 million SKUs for sale across hundreds of categories. We do a lot on entertainment, but we sell bicycle parts and costumes and puzzles and games as well, and a lot of books. So definitely that was a challenge when all going onto the website. Particularly, I guess, as a marketplace seller, when we're dealing with, say, a partner like Amazon, they have great data already, but when we're creating our own website, we need to create that data. So that took a lot of work with our supplier partners. And when I joined, that data wasn't great. It will always be a fourth bridge type project where we're constantly working on it.
Always needs updating.
Yeah, but without great data, there's no way for customers to find what they're looking for on the website. So it's super important to get that done first.
And what sort of levels of transactions were you doing back then on the website?
I guess the stat that always boils around in my head is that it took us 424 days to get to our 10,000th order.
So 424, that's like a year and a half.
Yeah, so slow beginnings. And we're still at the beginning of our journey, but we're now at a place where we're doing 10,000 orders about every 10 days.
Every 10 days?
Yeah.
So you're going to take a year and a half to do 10,000 orders, to every 10 days you're doing 10,000 orders.
And we're not stopping there. I mean, we want to be measuring 10,000 orders in hours, not days, and eventually in minutes.
And talk to me about the platform. How are you coping with that? Because that's not an insignificant amount of business going through the website, but also you're here in the UK, you've got operations in the US, and I know Rarewaves are sold to just about every country in the world. So how do you cope with that on the website side?
So, I mean that's a constant challenge, and I think what we've built on the website as well is quite a unique customer. They're very savvy, they know what they want. They're high spenders and they're high frequency spenders. So the more we can invest in creating a great experience on the website and great data and a local market feel, the better the happier those customers are. Part of it is also about customer service. So it's always been a huge focus for us at Rarewaves. We employ a lot of international staff to make sure that we're talking to customers in a local language wherever possible. But it's a constant kind of focus for us.
And are your customers sticking to a core category on the website? So if someone's buying media, do they always buy media, or do they stray into bike parts or other categories as well?
There is a little bit of mix, but we do have a lot of customers who come purely for music, a lot of customers purely for books. Bicycle parts customers tend to be mostly for bicycle parts. There's a little bit of a mix, but it's another reason why the website needs to create sections and curation and navigation for customers so they can feel like they're having a good experience for the content they love wherever they are on the website. You know, we can't treat a bicycle part like we would treat a new Adele album. It's a different sort of customer experience.
And for the other people that are on marketplaces and want to boost their website business, how have you attracted customers, retained customers? How do you win new customers? And how do you go about sort of pivoting from letting marketplaces like eBay, Amazon and Walmart and other marketplaces do all the work of finding the customers to actually getting them yourself?
Yeah. So in 18 years, we've served nearly 40 million customers around the world, and most of those customers through eBay and Amazon. If you ask those customers who they bought from, their top of mind answer is going to be eBay or Amazon, not necessarily Rarewaves. The focus for us then is, you know, we're a global retailer. We need to be building a trusted global brand. So a lot of the work has been firstly about making sure, as we said before, that the experience on the site and the data and the content is great. Once that's happening, you know, we've done a lot of work with Refer a Friend. We've been doing a lot of social work with Google, and making sure that we're found and discovered by customers where they search for products. And that's brought a lot of customers in. But really, we're only at the start of that journey. So next year is really going to be the year where you're going to see Rarewaves on your feed somewhere.
10,000 orders every 10 days, and that's just the start.
Yeah.
What are your goals for the website? And how many orders can you envision? Are you going to be getting 10,000 orders and measuring in hours next, or minutes, or?
Definitely. And I mean, really, we think that the market is so huge that we've only just started to tap into it. You know, we have the whole world to play with. We ship to about 175 countries. And on the content side as well, we're not stopping at 1.7 million SKUs. The guys out there are putting me under some pressure. They're out there getting as many SKUs as they can. So, and I think we have currently 180 suppliers, and they have 60 suppliers waiting to be onboarded. So there's a lot of content coming down the line. So there'll be customers for all that content. I think that's the interesting thing about Rarewaves, is that we're a very flat business. We can sell millions of SKUs and find a customer for almost anything.
So there's a huge difference between selling media to selling a book to selling bicycle parts. And how do you actually manage that within the business? I mean, most businesses, if they're selling bike parts, they only sell stuff for bikes, and maybe helmets and panniers and accessories, but they're generally a bike business, or they're a book business, or a DVD business, or a home and garden business. How do you cope with all these different product sets?
I mean, part of it's about investing in people and bringing people into the team who have experience in those sets so that we can talk to customers with authority. We're not trying to blag it. We want customers to believe that we know what we're talking about, and we want to believe we know what we're talking about. There's obviously some great examples of websites like Amazon in the world that can show you what they can do with multiple categories and how they can do that with authority. We're on a journey, and I think if you went to the website today, you'd find that we're focusing on categories like entertainment, movies, music, books, and games, that we know we can do that job well. As we grow, you'll start to see more of those other categories take more front and center prominence on the website.
So looking at your website today, what's the next stage on the roadmap? What are the things you want to get sorted next on the website?
Well, data never leaves my priority list, because there's always more work to be done. I think the customer journey on the website is also something that the next 4 months we're spending a lot of time focusing on, making sure that journey through to checkout is seamless and on both mobile and desktop, and is working for consumers. We want to make sure that customers feel they're having a great time on the website. And I guess the other big part of it will be how we reach new customers. We've never really had affiliate partnerships, but we're starting that in the next few weeks, and we're really excited to see where we can take that.
And where do you see Rarewaves moving to in the future? I mean, 1.7 million products and another 60 suppliers to take on board along with the 180 you already got. That is a hell of a job for 2024.
Yeah.
But where do you see the business in kind of 5 years' time, 10 years' time?
I think we'll be the biggest UK entertainment brand in the world. I think we can be there. I don't think there is one from a retail perspective that people would recognize around the world. Rarewaves wants to be that. And as I said, we're on a journey, and we're seeing that growth every single year, and that focus on building our trusted brand.
And to give people an idea, you've spoken about the number of transactions on your website. What's that kind of comparing currently to your marketplace business? How big a percentage of your entire business is the website nowadays?
Well, when I joined, the website was probably 2.5 to 3% of the business. We're getting up to 8 to 10% of the business now, and obviously we do want that to be a lot bigger. But it's not about cannibalizing marketplace sales. It's
growing the entire business.
Yeah, we want reach. We have dedicated customers who want to shop with us directly, but we also have casual customers where their top of mind answer when they want to buy a gift for a friend might be Amazon or eBay. We want to be there for those customers too. I do truly believe they're complementary, not competitive.
And I think it's easy to forget the amount of sales that happen on marketplaces, that not everyone does shop on marketplaces, and the UK especially is quite different to a lot of the world. The big two are eBay and Amazon, and then there's On by Wish and Frugo and some others. But you go to even just France, and the domination of marketplaces isn't quite the same. There's a lot of retailers in Europe like Zalando and Cdiscount and Kaufland that have become marketplaces, but people buy in different places.
Yes.
So are there any territories around the world that are really, really attractive for you, that you think that's the next country to focus on, other than kind of the obvious UK, US, Europe, Australia?
They are the obvious ones, and they're all very places where we do focus on.
You've already got operations in the US, I should add.
Yes, we do have operations in the US, and we have customer service personnel around the world as well. So in places like Japan and Australia. I think it's interesting. We've seen South America. It has some interesting growth in it. Certainly around countries like Chile. We see Asia having some big growth as well, and in some ways, the strength of the Rarewaves brand is that we're everywhere, and we'll see countries rise and fall in terms of their importance in terms of our sales mix. But actually, it's a very solid business across all of it.
And for retailers that are currently mainly marketplace focused and want to emulate Rarewaves and get traffic to the website, what are the kind of top tips that you can give them? What are the things to think about? It's easy to say, okay, I'll get a website and I'll make it transactional, but how do you get people to the website in the first place, and how do you start growing it to get to 10,000 sales in 10 days?
In entertainment, there's a good example of a couple of things that we can do that you can't actually do on marketplaces very easily. So having our own direct-to-consumer offer allows us to do things like pre-orders. So if we're pre-ordering, allowing customers to buy new art, new music, or new films, or new games up ahead of release date, that's not something we can do on Amazon, for example. But the website, we can do that. In fact, we have pre-orders up for books that are being released in 6 months' time. So if you're really a fanatic, you can find what you're looking for and
I hardly dare ask. Did you get many orders for Harry's Spare before, Prince Harry, I should say, before it came out?
A fair few, yes. Not so many now, but a fair few then. So definitely kind of understanding what areas you can bolt onto your offer that necessarily couldn't work as well through Marketplace. Another one is about promotions and how we curate offers. Marketplaces are very much about winning the search, where on the website it really is about kind of in creating impulse behavior with consumers. So focusing on curation and special offers that allow customers to discover things when they're on the website. Our average transactional value is much higher than it would be when we're selling on marketplaces, because people are adding more items to their basket. That's really the key.
And finally, talking about attracting traffic to the website, what has proved most effective for you? Is it referrals? Is it just being on search engines to search? Is it social? Is it reviews? What's the thing that's been the biggest driver?
It's interesting you mentioned reviews, and I'll come on to that in a second. I think search is a key one. So being able to be found on the major search engines is absolutely critical, and we've spent a lot of time focusing on making sure that our data is right on those search engines. I think the review side is also important, and we partnered with Trustpilot about 1.5 years ago, particularly as we're building this trusted global brand. Many of our new customers arriving on the website, it's their first time. They may not have heard of us before, so it's really critical that we get give them some confidence they're shopping with an authentic, real, trusted retailer. We've got 18 years of experience under our belt, but from a customer's point of view, they may not know that. So Trustbots really help with that too.
Well, it's been fascinating to talk to you, Rudy, and I'd love to come back next year and see just how long it's taken you to get that 10,000 sales in a year's time. But when it does come to minutes, we're going to have to crack the beer open.
Definitely.
But Rudy, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.